You overcame every obstacle that came your way.
Coming up on OU Nightly, fire danger and severe weather ripping through the state. Our OU Nightly meteorologists are tracking the latest.
Former President Donald Trump makes history in the courtroom today, the latest from New York. And as polls are open just a few more hours, what Ward 5 residents need to know before voting? This is OU Nightly.
False statements made to cover up other crimes. These are felony crimes in New York State, no matter who you are. We cannot and will not normalize serious criminal conduct.
Crowds gathered around the Manhattan courtroom today as former President Donald Trump was arrested and arraigned, the first former president to be formally indicted. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Cameron Joyner.
And I'm Dana Searles. We head right over to the newsroom where Jaden Brannon has kept up with Donald Trump's indictment today and has more information. Jaden?
Thanks, Dana. Trump has been investigated by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office in an alleged hush money scheme dating back to the 2016 presidential election. He's charged with authorizing and disguising payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels to buy her silence about an alleged affair. So far, Trump has pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts of falsifying business records, including illegal conspiracy. Shortly after Trump entered the courtroom, the White House press secretary spoke on President Biden's behalf. Here's what he had to say.
Look, the president's going to focus on the American people like he does every day. He is not, this is not something that is a focus for him. He is going to focus on things like making sure that we continue to lower prices for the American people.
And Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt has shown his support for the former president throughout his terms. When asked about the indictment on Friday, this is what Governor Kevin Stitt had to say.
This justice system, if they're going to go after political opponents, I think Oklahomans and I think Americans, quite frankly, are just disgusted with that.
And I also reached out to the governor's office today for comment and have yet to hear back from them. Trump is due next in court in December, but his lawyers have asked that he be excused from the hearing due to security reasons. Back to you both in the studio.
Thanks, Jaden. And fire weather, a hot topic in Oklahoma today. About an hour ago, a grass fire started in Weatherford, Oklahoma. Let's take a look at this video from News 9 storm trackers. Multiple fire departments around Weatherford are responding to the fire right now, and evacuations are in process north of Interstate 40.
Now we know that Oklahoma is no stranger to those Oklahoma winds, but with that comes a fire danger.
That's right. OU Nightly meteorologist Kathleen Liberta is here in the studio to tell us about those fire dangers throughout the state of Oklahoma today. That's right, Dana, and we've already started to see those fires pop up across the state. Looking at our current temperatures right now, you can see that here in Norman, we're sitting at 78, but look at the western part of the state. 80s and 90s in some places, 92, 93 just west of Lawton. And these warmer temperatures combined with lower dew points is what is causing those conditions for fire weather. So here is this dry line that's going to be making its way through the state as we head throughout the evening. You can see we're still very humid here in Norman, but west of this dry line, look at these dew points in single digits. That's what's causing dry conditions, very dry conditions. And our our current wind gusts, again, look at how strong the winds are coming out of the south in the western part of the state, 40s, and even we were seeing some 50s earlier today. So all of this combined is what's causing extreme fire danger. And when you have this fire danger, you want to make sure to prevent the possibility of starting a fire. So you don't want to light a cigarette and throw it out your window. You don't want to park your car in any grass. And you also don't want to start a fire and leave it unattended. Now, our meteorologist Colton Williams is outside right now to tell us what it's looking like out there. Is it dry? Is it, what are you seeing out there, Colton?
Yeah, Catherine, as you mentioned, that dry line has kind of slowed its pace as it's headed here towards the I-35 corridor, and for the moment that's left our fire weather conditions to 0 here in Norman and across much of the Oklahoma City metro. Now, out behind it, you mentioned wind gusts are gusting anywhere from 40 to 50 miles per hour, and here on the south side of OU's campus, we're still seeing wind gusts 20 to 30, but thankfully that humidity has continued to stay in the upper categories, and that's what's keeping our fire danger low. Now, as the dry line continues to march eastward, if it does cross overhead before sundown tonight, we will enter into a very high category of fire danger. That means that a field just like the one I'm standing in could be susceptible to a wildfire, and that would be a very dangerous situation. Now, we are expecting the dry line to continue to stall out, so we should be good through the remainder of the evening, but certainly have to keep you updated on that as the evening goes on. Coming up, severe thunderstorms for some Oklahomans. Catherine Liberta is going to have all that. For now, reporting on the south side of Norman. Catherine, back to you.
That's right, Colton. Like you said, fire danger continues throughout the rest of the evening for the western part of the state, and it's springtime in Oklahoma. Severe weather potentials once again, plus warmer temperatures are ahead. I'll have all of that coming up in Maine weather. Back to you. Thanks, Catherine and Colton. With the fire warnings across the state, grass and trees aren't the only things catching on fire. A dumpster outside of a McDonald's off of Lindsay Street and McGee. The fire has been put out and did not spread anywhere else, thankfully.
Today is the runoff election for the Ward 5 City Council. For the city of Norman, this election's candidates are Rancher Tortorello against former Pike-Off OTA president and Ward 5 City Council incumbent Michael David Nash. Also on the ballot, Kathleen Kennedy against Annette Price for the position in Norman Public Schools Office 3. The polls will stay open until 7 p.m. tonight.
And construction for a pathway that will improve transportation from 48th Avenue to 72nd Avenue is set to begin next winter. Norman will receive over $2 million in federal grant funds from the Transportation Alternative Program to complete the project. Public Works Director Sean O'Leary said the pathway is good for transportation, recreation, public safety, and the Norman economy.
And a first-grade teacher in Virginia shot by a 6-year-old is now accusing the school of gross negligence. OU Nightly's Ireland Fitzer has the story and more in today's News Center.
The teacher is asking for $40 million after she was shot at her reading table in January. Court documents say the school knew about the student's past random violence and failed to take action. The attorney for the teacher adds that the assistant principal ignored the warnings from the teachers the day the student brought the gun to school. In Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis signs a bill that allows people to carry concealed weapons in public without a permit. Now, the state will no longer require training or background checks to carry a concealed weapon. The bill goes into effect July 1st and makes Florida the 26th state to have permitless carry. In international news, Finland has officially joined NATO. This makes Finland the 31st member of the NATO military alliance. The decision makes Finland safer and its military stronger. With this new alliance, more than 800 miles has been added to NATO's frontier against Russia. Here at home, McDonald's say its U.S. offices are shutting down, forcing the company to lay off employees. The exact number of layoffs is yet to be known. Cameron, Dana.
Thanks, Ireland. Also here in the state, food stamp benefits are getting an upgrade soon. Stick around for a look at the new plan to take SNAP contactless.
Plus, the first moon mission in 5 decades is getting closer, and NASA has released the names of the astronauts going on this mission. We'll tell you who they are coming up.
Evening tornadoes tear through Oklahoma. We have a tornado warning for Cleveland County.
The OU Nightly weather team was there before.
45 minutes away or less from these storms getting into campus.
During.
Plenty of people who, are living off campus. This storm is headed to you.
And after.
Again, sending news crews out to assess damage.
Always keeping the University of Oklahoma in focus.
Campus in the clear right now.
OU Nightly Weather, your campus weather authority.
Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Oklahoma is now one of 5 states trying out a new contactless payment method for those using SNAP benefits. Carolyn Felling joins us with this story and others in today's Science and Technology.
DHS says that in the coming years, this new method will help SNAP customers pay for groceries just by tapping their phone at checkout. They say moving to this method will provide a safer way of payment, reducing fraud. Oklahoma stores and customers can participate in the pilot program, which is coming out very soon. And 4 astronauts are headed to the moon, and NASA will send their first woman on this mission as well. Training begins now, and they say takeoff is in November of 2024. Now, this is very historic because 50 years ago was the last time man touched down on the moon. It was one giant leap for mankind. And for those concerned about paying way too much for a flight can now worry less. Google is testing a new program to make sure that the customer gets the best price possible. This program is said to monitor flight prices until the day of departure, and when the airfare goes down, you would get the difference back through Google Pay. This program only applies to travel within the U.S. And here's a little bit of history for you. The first phone call was made 50 years ago from a sidewalk on 6th Avenue in Manhattan. The phone was the size of a brick and weighed about 2.5 pounds. Can you believe that, Cameron and Dana?
I absolutely cannot, but speaking of, social media now has been in the spotlight lately, and now Twitter is on the chopping block with legal troubles of its own. We'll tell you why coming up.
That's right. Plus, we've seen some dry conditions today, but that could change in parts of eastern Oklahoma. With chances of severe weather tonight, Kathleen Liberta is here to tell us what we could expect for the rest of the day.
That's right. We've got a chance for some fire danger and severe weather. I'll have the timing of all of those events and what will affect you coming up right after this.
To Sofia and Gabriel. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Evening tornadoes tear through Oklahoma.
We have a tornado warning for Cleveland County.
The OU Nightly weather team was there before.
45 minutes away or less from these storms getting into campus.
During.
Plenty of people who, are living off campus. This storm is headed to you.
And after.
Again, sending news crews out to assess damage.
Always keeping the University of Oklahoma in focus.
Campus in the clear right now.
OU Nightly weather or Campus Weather Authority.
Well, welcome back to OU Nightly. We are talking about fire weather today. That's the big story. Looking outside on campus right now, though, we are still very humid. You can see 54% humidity. That's what's keeping us from being at risk for fire weather, at least for now, because the dry line hasn't passed us just yet. But if it does pass before we hit sunset tonight, we could be at risk for major fire damage here in Norman, Oklahoma. Now, 79 degrees outside right now, and this is what has been keeping us so dry and so warm. You can see not a lot of cloud cover out west, and here is that dry line. So as this moves eastward, that could be what could bring us that risk for the fire weather. Now, current temperatures outside in the metro right now, like I said, 78 here in Norman, 80 degrees up in OKC, Kingfisher hitting the 90s. And so these very warm temperatures are sitting out west because of that lack of cloud cover, and those warmer temperatures should be moving a little bit eastward as we head into this evening right before sunset, but then they'll cool down as we head into the evening. Now, current wind gusts, again, wind gusts from 40 to 50 miles an hour. We've been seeing that all day, and that's what's causing the risk for that fire weather. Here's that dry line once again. It hasn't passed over I-35 just yet, but very dry conditions out west in Woodward and Eden. Now, here's your fire danger forecast. So this is the dew point. This is your humidity percentage, Norman, 10% humidity. But as we head throughout the evening, you can see that it starts to ramp up. So it's going to be a lot more humid as we head into tomorrow. But then as we look to our fire danger, again, all of these conditions create an extreme risk for fire weather out west. Now, this also includes a red flag warning for most of Oklahoma until 11 p.m. tonight, most of western Oklahoma, even some northern parts of the state as well. But it's springtime. We're talking about severe weather once again. This is going to affect mostly the eastern part of the state. You can see Tulsa in that slight risk for severe weather, but the big story is out in Arkansas. They saw a tornado over the weekend, and they are at risk for severe weather once again. Now, looking at what we would see with these storms, you can see that the damaging wind zone, Norman is included in this damaging wind zone. That's 5%. And then looking at our hail zone, we shouldn't be too worried about hail here in Norman. This is going to be overnight tonight. But then that tornado zone, again, a big chance for tornadoes in that same area that was struck by a tornado just a couple of days ago. So looking at that future cast, see not much going on here in Oklahoma, but all of that rain is going to be pushing out into the eastern part of, some eastern parts of Oklahoma, but mostly Arkansas. And then looking at our night tonight, like I said, temperatures are going to rise up just a bit, getting to 84 by 4 p.m., but then we're going to cool back down into the 70s as we head throughout the rest of the night. Now, those temperatures and those winds are going to continue to decrease as we head throughout this evening. Highs tomorrow, a little bit cooler than normal, 58 58 here in Norman, 58 in Oklahoma City. And then as we look at our 7-day forecast, our temperatures are just going to continue to increase as we head throughout the rest of the week and into next week. It's going to be beautiful. Ladies, back to you. Thanks, Catherine. And 4 vendors have joined forces to sue Twitter for allegedly not paying tens of thousands of dollars in overdue bills. The class action lawsuit filed in Northern California this morning refers to the companies as being small businesses without the resources, time, and money to litigate these claims on their own. The outstanding bills range from $40,000 to $140,000. This adds to the list of legal actions Twitter is facing since Elon Musk bought it last year.
And the Texas series might be over, but OU softball is still winning days after.
Zoe Watson is here to break it all down for us in sports.
I'll tell you which OU softball stars are adding more hardware to their trophy case and who both gymnastics teams face as they continue their quest to the national title.
Prepared as your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane. You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you!
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
I'm Zoe Watson, and it's time for sports. OU men's basketball season may be over, but they are still making headlines. The Oklahoma men's basketball could lose another player to the transfer portal. Senior forward Jalen Hill announced that he was entering the portal on Monday, and he joins Benny Schroeder, Bijan Cortez, and CJ Nolan in the transfer portal. And Oklahoma softball swept this week's Big 12 Conference Weekly Honors after sweeping Texas this weekend. Tiare Jennings is not only the Big 12 Player of the Week, she was named the NFCA National Player of the Week. Jordy Ball won Big 12 Pitcher of the Week after picking up 2 wins in the Texas series. After dominating the Norman Regional, Oklahoma Women's Gymnastics is set to compete in the Women's Gymnastics NCAA semifinal on April 13th, Thursday in Fort Worth. They will face UCLA, Utah, and Kentucky. The second-ranked Oklahoma men's gymnastics team will be the number 2 seed in the NCAA championship. The Sooners are set to face Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State, California, and Springfield on April 14th. OU baseball took a tough loss to Stanford on Sunday afternoon, but look to bounce back tonight as they face Oral Roberts in Tulsa. The Golden Eagles have won 5 straight games in 10 of their last 11. The first pitch is at 6 p.m. And new faces have arrived to the Oklahoma football team this spring. According to the depth chart, Indiana transfer Dasan McCullough is now a first-string linebacker for the Sooners, and he admires Brent Venables' attention to detail.
it's a different between the types of jobs I was doing here and at Indiana. So really just learning those jobs and learning how Coach V wants us to read a defense, or how he wants us to maybe disguise coverages. It's just a big difference. So, you know, with a coach like that knows so much and he's a perfectionist, you know, it just makes you be really tight on your details.
The Thunder is hoping to keep their playoff chances alive in a very close NBA Western Conference standings. The Dallas Mavericks are only 1 game behind. The Thunder is focused on getting wins when it counts.
I wouldn't say feel the pressure, but it's definitely something that, you know, we have an eye on and we're aware of. You know, we're going out there to win every game and, you know, playing our hardest because, you know, we want it. We want to be in the play-in. We want to win games.
The Thunder face the Golden State Warriors tonight in San Francisco as they hope to stay in playoff contention. Dana Cameron, back to you.
Thanks, Zoe. And are you planning a summer vacation with friends? Well, you might want to hear about this one.
Coming up, we'll tell you how one airline is offering free flights.
Like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste. These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight, both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back, because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Southwest Airlines is bringing back its Companion Pass. This pass allows travelers to bring one person to fly with them for free.
And if you are a member of Southwest's frequent flyer program, you are eligible to register. The first step is to purchase a ticket by Wednesday evening, and it has to be for a flight before May 24th.
The Buddy Pass will work on as many flights as they want between August 15th and September 30th. Now, I know you're going somewhere this weekend, Dana, but I'm staying right here in Norman, so I kind of want to know what the weather's going to be like.
That's right. Let's check in with Catherine Liberta, our meteorologist, for the rest of this week's forecast. That's right, Dana and Cameron. If you're staying here in Norman tonight, you shouldn't be too worried about our two big stories that we've been talking about, fire danger and severe weather. The risk for fire danger looks like it's going to stay just west of I-35, so we shouldn't be too worried about it here in Norman tonight. But if you are eastward of I-35, you're going to have to look out for some severe weather. It's going to stick towards the eastern part of the state. Big risks out in Arkansas. And looking at the rest of our week, it looks like it's going to be beautiful. 60s Thursday and Friday, and then it's going to jump up into the 80s next week. Dana and Cameron, back to you.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Cameron Joyner.
And I'm Dana Searles. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.
Prepared as your family. If a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane, you can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why